Yo, what up, guys? Your boy Ejahmix. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you're not. And today we're going to be talking about Stadia and E3. Let's get into it. So, of course, E3 2021 is on the horizon. It's actually going to be taking place this weekend from June 12th to June 15th. If you didn't know, it's an exciting time for games and platforms and all types of things. People are excited. I'm excited. But I'm really interested in what the Stadia team chooses to do for E3, or really pre-E3. Of course, we know that Stadia is not going to be showcased officially at E3, like in there, in the E3 lineup. It's really just Xbox and Bethesda, Nintendo, I think Gearbox, and like a few other publishers and developers are going to be highlighted and showcased at the actual E3 event. But of course, there are other events that are happening before, like the Guerrilla Collective was actually this past weekend. The Ubisoft Forward taking place on the day before E3 officially begins, and we have a few other events that could be coming, before and actually after, well into July. Now, of course, we don't know what exactly. We have no like concrete evidence or anything that Stadia is going to be doing anything pre E3 because Stadia has a really short history and really small bit of history when it comes to E3. Really only two things. Like 2019, June 2019, essentially E3 season. Stadia did do prior to release. They did do that interview where it was like Phil Harrison interviewed by Jeff Keighley at YouTube Live at E3, and of course we did have a Stadia Connect that month as well. Of course, it's all I want to say this was all pre-release of Stadia, but because of that one little event and that one little thing that they did do, it's not unlikely that the Stadia team chooses to do something, at the very least something, before E3 starts, or even after, which would also be perfectly fine. Pertaining to pre-E3, let's just talk about what the schedule will look like, especially at this jam-packed week of speculation and things that people are expecting, what it will look like if Stadia did choose to do something prior to E3. Now, we have to keep in mind, right, that Stadia is not the only company to look at this month, or, platform that people are looking at this month or this week. We're also looking at Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch Pro is on the horizon, possibly. People are thinking that might be, if Nintendo Switch Pro is going to be announced this year, or it's going to come out this year, it's going to be announced prior to E3, because Nintendo's E3 event is going to be happening on June 15th, which I want to say is a Monday. If they're going to announce anything when it pertaining to a Switch Pro, it's going to be announced at a mini Nintendo Direct or something, literally right before E3, and then E3 is going to happen, and then they're going to do their event where they talk about software and games and all the things pertaining to the new Nintendo Switch, more than likely. Also, we have the Ubisoft Forward that's going to be taking place on Friday, right before E3 starts, and of course, the Stadia team is cool with Ubisoft, so they're not going to really want to step on their toes. They're going to let Ubisoft have as much spotlight and limelight as they can, and also the Summer Games Fest, which is going to be its own other things happening on June 10th, I want to say, so that's going to launch as well. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening before E3 even begins, and this is the week where eyes are going to be on everyone and everywhere for any little bit of game news, just to get people, give them something to be excited about, right? So we got to keep that in mind when it comes to this jam-packed week. Now, of course, we can also kind of look at what a typical Stadia week would look like. We'd have This Week on Stadia on Tuesday, more than likely, sometimes a little after, but because of how jam-packed this week is, I can't see it not being on a Tuesday, right? So, if we just have to, map out a schedule real quick, I'd say we're going to get our Stadia, or This Week on Stadia on Tuesday, right? And then that's where it would be announced. If we're going to get a Stadia Connect or anything before E3, that's where it would be announced on Tuesday. So keep an eye out on Tuesday for This Week on Stadia. For a Stadia Connect, so it'd be on Tuesday, and then the conference would have to be on Wednesday, maybe Thursday. It'd have to be on Wednesday and Thursday. I wouldn't even put it out on a Friday because of Ubisoft, and if Nintendo does anything, like I'm talking anything, like it'd have to be the day Nintendo's not doing something, and even then, it'd have to be before Nintendo, because as soon as Nintendo jumps the gun and they're out there with Nintendo Switch Pro, that's all anybody's gonna be talking about. But I digress. Regardless of any of that, if we look at that roadmap, it has to be on Tuesday. It has to be on a Wednesday or Thursday, or really any day that Nintendo's not doing something. Like either day, like honestly, either day it has to be the day where they can safely trend on Twitter if they're gonna trend, if they release anything noteworthy, and it has to be literally legit before Nintendo. Now, I think we can kind of get into what would be announced at this event. I just want to say this caveat: do not keep your expectations low, okay? There are people that go into these events with high expectations. Please keep your expectations low, okay? Keep them low, and then be pleasantly surprised if they say Battlefield 6 is coming to Stadia, okay? If they drop something crazy like that, keep your expectations as low as possible. But the things that you can possibly expect at this Stadia Connect would be, I'd say, games, of course. Those going to put them in an interesting position because if it happens before E3, that would mean a lot of developers and publishers would be giving Stadia like the okay. If the devs do give Stadia the okay to announce these games, it's going to put Stadia in a very unique and very highly, you know, I guess strategic and I guess what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, winning position, because that means they would have announced like some of these games that we know are coming soon. Like they would have been announcing it on their platform, and maybe it might be some games we never seen before. So again, I'm trying to keep my expectations low and grounded, but those are some things that could happen. It would just kind of depend on how devs are kind of feeling with Stadia right now, and of course, it would just put them in an amazing position for it to be the first ones to announce like Battlefield 6 or like show up Battlefield 6 gameplay. I'm saying Battlefield 6 a lot because that was the game I know a lot of people in the community kind of wanted on Stadia. I don't know if that game's coming. Probably not. Possibly, I don't know, but that's a huge thing. That'd be like, oh my god, Battlefield 6 is coming to Stadia. It'll be a huge headline. You know what I'm saying? Now, anything else that I can think of, like anything else that we might see, they might talk about Stadia Games and Entertainment a little bit. I think that's more of a GDC thing, but they might talk about like their new direction, and maybe we get a roadmap. Again, more GDC for me, in my opinion, but maybe we get some more information about what their new direction is, what they're doing over at Stadia since the changes, since Stadia Games and Entertainment shut down, and what their goals are, and maybe we get like I said, a new roadmap. I'm not sure, but definitely would be an opportunity for them to do that aside from the whole game announcements and things like that. But all in all, I think that would essentially be everything that I would want from the Stadia team, honestly. You know, games, always games. Maybe we get some hardware updates. Maybe they say, oh, we're releasing a new Stadia controller, or new colors, or Google TV. Oh, yeah, there you go. Stadia, Google TV, that might get announced. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be something if they finally announce Stadia on the Google TV. But, like, little things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, my expectations aren't too high. It's just like I know a lot of things that are coming, so it's like I would just want them to announce it on the biggest stage they can. And E3 is pretty much the biggest they can get the game on the game side of things. So like, yeah. if they can do something that would just kind of shock the world, or even just get people a little interested in the Stadia, get them a little more excited about Stadia, that would be good all in all. But yeah, I think that's it. So of course, if you enjoyed the content of the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and also let me know in the comments what you guys think that E3 could unveil or release or announce or anything. Let me know in the comments what you might think that could be. I'm open to suggestions. I don't know, man. I'm trying to keep my expectations low, and yeah, so like I said, enjoy the content, do all those things I told you to do before. Follow me on Twitter at KingEjahmix, and yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.